In a time of crisis, it appears that owners of many local convenience stores are going up on the prices of many essential items, not only here in the capital, but around the Family Islands. And it seems the cases are increasing. This breach in the Price Control Act is not sitting well with authorities who say store owners caught breaking the law will be prosecuted. Chairman of the Price Commission, Danny Sumner, joins us live in studio tonight. Mr. Sumner, welcome to the Weekend Edition.
Welcome.
Mr. Sumner, price gouging is not an unusual occurrence here in the Bahamas at this time, but how many cases are your team of inspectors investigating right now?
Well, presently, right now, we have a number of complaints coming in from New Providence and indeed the Family Islands, which doesn't look too good in the eyes of the consumers.
And Mr. Sumner, if you would look on our screen, the Lysol spray in the Family Islands is about $18.75. Buckley's is about $19.25, and bleach is about nearly $12. What should, I guess, the original prices of these items be currently?
Those prices are ridiculous. And the store owners who are selling those products to the consumers should be ashamed of themselves. And when you look at bleach and Lysol, those two items are very important in terms of personal hygiene. And the control price for those items are documented. So there is no excuse for any stores to gouge on the prices of those items. And the inspectors in New Providence and indeed the ones in the Family Islands are actively looking at these prices. And if we found that we could come up with substantial evidence in these price-related matters, they will be prosecuted. On Tuesday of this week, the Prime Minister, when he addressed the Wholesalers Association, he did indicate that price gouging is a problem and the government will go all out to prosecute the violators in price gouging.
That's good to hear for the consumers, but how are inspectors tackling these issues, not only here in the capital, but on those Family Islands? And are there any other items on the shelves that I guess owners are hiking the prices on?
We have a number of complaints coming in with eggs. Eggs is very essential. It is a good breakfast food in the morning time. And we've had a number of complaints with eggs in the food store that is going up as well. In addition to that, we're looking at spoilage. Consumers cannot and should not pay for any fruit or produce that is spoiled or reaching expiry dates. Those things should become under environmental protection laws, and they should be forced off the shelves immediately.
Now, there are many Bahamians who feel that price inspectors are not out enough enforcing the laws. What do you have to say about that?
Good question. We have 12 inspectors in New Providence, 9 in Grand Bahama, which covers the northern area of the Bahamas, which include Abaco and Bimini. The inspectors in New Providence goes out daily. And when you look at the amount of stores that we have, it is not an easy job. Most of the complaints that I have been receiving right now, and there's active investigation going on, there's about 5 investigations going on in New Providence that I'm looking at personally, and about 3 Family Islands. These inspectors have the job cut out for them. They go out daily, and then we have to substantiate the infraction and the violation that these stores owners are committing.
Now, I know you told me earlier that there are 12, I guess, inspectors here in the capital. Are there any, I guess, new measures in place to ensure that consumers will not be robbed of their purchases during this crisis?
Yes, what we're going to do, we have a team, and like I mentioned, the inspection center is located on Carmichael Road, headed by May Gordon, who is the Chief Price Inspector. The Chief Price Inspector for Grand Bahama is Reno Smith. Those 2 people I look at every day, and I look to them and give them advice as to how we go about investigating these matters, because we cannot allow people to keep calling in the hotline and suggesting that they're being gouged with pricing and not do anything. So we are actively, and let me emphasize, actively investigating all complaints that come to my desk or all complaints that goes to the inspection center on Carmichael Road.
And we appreciate, I guess, the job that your team is doing. But if caught, what are some of the penalties?
The penalty for gouging is very high. It can be like $5,000 per item. $5,000 per item. So if you're gouging on any item, and if there's 200-300 of those items in your stores, you'll pay $5,000 multiplied by what you have in the store.
And one final question, have you guys prosecuted anyone thus far?
So far, we haven't prosecuted nobody yet, but it doesn't mean that we're not going to do so. In the due course of time, the law will prevail, and I'm quite sure, I'm telling you this right now, some people will be prosecuted. You heard it from me.
Danny Sumner, please crack down on these ridiculous prices for items and be safe while you and your team are doing your job. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Weekend Edition.